Wassalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Level Every Class, the World of Warcraft War Within series, episode 7, featuring femme fatale, beautiful, blue-eyed devil, Novaxaru. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Top right corner of the screen, as always, is going to be a playlist card. Boy, I hope I survive this fall. Oh, goodness, thank dude. For a second there, I've been known to challenge my my little jumps and things. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm gonna heal up real quick because I don't know if oh no, it's not. Oh goodness. It's always fun to just play and mess around and stuff like that. The top right corner of the screen is going to be a playlist card, which will take you directly to this character specific leveling series and saga. If this is your first time tuning into the Let's Level Monk series, as well as throughout the video. What in the world? Okay, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on. Throughout this video, there's going to be a playlist card, or multiple different playlist cards in the top right corner, which will take you directly to other characters' specific leveling sagas. So we have Malachiel, Fury Warrior, Blood Elf Paladin Novaxaru, the Journey series, Morame, and many more characters yet to come, y'all. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shukran. Thank you very kindly. Alright, so outside of my little circus stunts, shall we say, we are at the brewery in which we are helping Mr. Chen Stormstour and his niece solve the mystery as to what in the world is going on in this brewery. And outside of getting barreled every 10 seconds, we're taking care of a little bit of a monkey issue. It's kind of funny because I was born in the year of the monkey, so there's a little bit of bias there. Yeah, I keep getting barreled. Dang, he hit me twice. Good job, dude. Holy crow. It was a considerable amount of damage there, too. Man, I can't believe it, y'all. Episode 7, it just seems like every character I start, it truthfully, it just seems like it goes from start and it immediately goes to the finish line. And that's just a factor of a few things. Retail with the account warband and maximizing, you know, what is it? You get 4 or 5 characters up to level 80 and you're getting a 25% boost. If you have the Timewalking dungeon campaign, then you get that. Then on top of all of that, Wins a Mysterious Fortune. So you get all 3, which is coming back here pretty soon, which I'm very much looking forward to. I mean, you're just adding the EXP bonuses left and right. It's insane. It's insane how fast you can level. I get it. They want to push you to the newest content, and that's all good. We got what is it? Ghost to Karash coming very soon. So at some point, I'm actually gonna have to start calling this series the World of Warcraft War Within, Ghosts of Karash, and then eventually it'll be World of Warcraft Midnight and everything else. I'm not prepared. I am not prepared. I've been calling it War Within for so long. Oh, goodness. I hope y'all are doing fantastic regardless of where your journeys are taking you in Azeroth, be it retail, Cataclysm, oh my goodness, Cataclysm Classic. We're in Mists of Pandaria Classic now. Mists of Pandaria Classic, Seasons of Discovery, Classic Anniversary, Classic Era, simply does not matter. I hope all of y'all's journeys in Azeroth are going just as well as mine is. So between nearly killing myself through stunts and a bit of monkey business and elemental business here, so we already have an idea as to what's going on inside of the brewery. So I'm wondering if we're gonna have to actually queue up with other players to complete. All right, dude, I get it. Dang, man, that barrel takes like half my freaking health. Holy crow. So we already know what's going on, right? We have a very good idea. I imagine if this was like, this is like an exact setup that you would do in Classic. to get you, like, it's kind of hard to describe. To my veteran WoW players, you do like a quest chain, and it kind of leads you up to a dungeon if there's a dungeon in that area. A good example would be like Silverpine Forest. Silverpine would lead you up to the quest chain would pretty much lead you up to Shadowfang Keep, or an even better example, Final Fantasy 14 for my 14 family out there. Y'all know in A Realm Reborn, the quests pretty much lead you up to the dungeon. Then you queue up with players, or you queue up with followers, or the trust system, which originally stemmed from Final Fantasy 11. And then you just go queue up the dungeon, complete the dungeon, and so on and so forth. So I'm wondering if there's going to be two different versions. Like if there's one for the players, or excuse me, is there like a version of the dungeons that you would do with players, and then there's another version of the dungeon that is strictly for the storyline? It's going to be interesting to see, because we're right in front of the entrance to the brewery.
I do not have a target.
We are also level 56, so we are closing in very quickly level 70, and I do plan on doing some dungeons in this episode. We're leveling very, very fast. Hey, Lily.
Take me with you.
Lily, I sincerely hope I have a daughter one day where I can put, like, put her hair up into, like, oxtails, or, the little ox buns and all that.
I'm back with some stories.
That'd be such a proud dad moment. I can almost do that type of stuff with my son. My son's hair is insane. He obviously has the genetics of his mother. I don't think my genetics did a whole lot of, battling, honestly. Ah, okay. So there's two different versions to the brewery. So my hypothesis was, my intuition was a little correct. We are doing the story one.
Yeah, I can't hit them. That there bubble is too darn thick.
Okay, so this guy's immune. We actually have to stomp on these bubbles. This is a little,
I'm out of range.
a little interesting here. It's kind of hard to tell if we're actually stomping on them or not. Like, it's really, really hard to, it's outside of them vanishing, it's pretty hard to tell whether or not anything I'm doing is making a significant bit of difference. It's cool to see Mudbug also be coded to also hit up the bubbles. Can I skip? No, I can't. Okay, so you really actually do have to try. It looks like you have to do all the bubbles. It's kind of weird. I wish there was a better indicator to, like, a better visual indicator, because it's kind of hard to tell. And if you have to do all of them, that's a pain in the neck. Not gonna lie. So how's everyone doing in Azeroth? How y'all doing? How's your journeys going? How's your character leveling or toon leveling going? What y'all been up to recently? Anything good? Pop the big O. Okay, so now we're gonna. What?
I'm gonna turn you into a stout.
So we go from popping on the small bubbles to popping the big ones. I mean, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we are in the World of Warcraft. Could we not just have like a spell, like a dispel? Can't we just like dispel the dudes, the elementals, shield? Wouldn't that just be a little bit more? I don't know. I think that'd make a little bit more sense than what we're doing right now, but I get it. I get it. All right, I'm very curious if queuing up for this dungeon is actually going to kick me out and reset what we're currently doing. I have a feeling it's probably going to be the case. Oh, nice, dude. Scholomance. And I'm getting kicked out. I'm totally getting kicked out of that. Which means I need to teleport to the dungeon, and let's do something fun real quick. Skolo, baby. Skolo Dolo. Big fan of this revamp. Huge fan of Scholomance in the revamp. So I think now would be actually a pretty good... While we're going ahead and... Oh, shoot. We got an Evoker over here, too. Cool. That's a race I'm looking forward to playing, because I know absolutely second to nothing about them. Outside of Alexstrasza and I believe a few of her siblings. That's pretty much the only thing I know about Evokers. So that time will be fun. So I think now would be while I'm kind of multitasking here. I think it'd be an interesting time to talk and discuss about some questions y'all may have considering the Let's Level series. I haven't really done this yet. It's not really a Q&A, it's more so just like so you guys can see my thought process behind like what goes on in the series and kind of like behind the scenes. Maybe at some point that'd be cool to do too, like a little behind the scenes as to how the process is with like video editing, the time and everything else. So I think one question I may get is like, how often do you actually, like, considering the scale and scope of the project, how often am I actually playing WoW? And truth be told, it kind of varies. You know, life of a first responder is incredibly difficult, and for the better part of my career thus far, I've pretty much been on the graveyard shift rotation. At first, not really by choice, but I kind of just got used to it. So we have 2 different weeks. So we have a long week and a short week rotation. And basically what that means is 1 week is basically I guess it's a better way of saying like you have a heaven and a hell week. So your hell week, you're working 5 days. Those 5 days are long. It doesn't seem like they would be. It's like, oh, that just seems like a normal, you know, like any other normal 9 to 5. Well, no, your baseline is 12 hours. So for my department specifically, we're 12-hour rotations. That's assuming nothing crazy happens. If something crazy happens, you're going to be, consider it 14 hours at that point, straight. So you'll do like 2 days on, 2 days off, and then you're working the weekend. So you're doing basically, you're doing 312s back to back to back. So you're doing basically 48 in a row. And many other occupations in this world have a very like crazy schedule as well. Many trades have a crazy schedule. I know some tradesmen that definitely work around the clock a lot. There's also, you know, military, any veterans and other first responders out there. I mean, it's just, scheduling is crazy. Also, y'all, I do have a small favor to ask. Very small favor. But if y'all are enjoying the content, maybe do considering leaving a like on this video. Do consider a comment if you have any constructive feedback as to how I can play Monk better, or just constructive feedback on the videos. All opinions are held respectively. As we immediately target the boss, as we're not even done with the side mobs, but let's just go ahead and get the boss going too. And do even consider subscribing to the channel. The channel recently just hit 80 subscribers. That's incredible to me. It may be such a small thing in the grand, small number, I guess, to many. However, to me, it's like, that's 80 people around the world that are paying attention to your specific content. That is absolutely insane to me. Never thought that would even happen. Thank y'all so much for your time. Y'all's time is incredibly valuable, and I really want to make the Let's Level series the best that I possibly can for as beginner friendly as I can, and as entertaining to the veteran players as well. Kind of meet a middle ground. But only consider subscribing to the channel if I have earned it. If I have not earned your trust yet, no worries. Do pay attention. if these videos are of interest, though, do pay attention to the channel because there's a lot of content coming. And again, shukran.
I require a target.
Jandis, down yet again, homegirl. Down again. God, man, dude, I love Scholomance. It's just the revamp. The revamp is just so nice, and it's just like many things. It's so streamlined, you know? So as I was saying, baseline is for like a hell week would be 5 days, and the longest is like 3 days in a row. 3 days is three, in this case, I guess in my case, 3 nights in a row at 12 hours apiece. Your heaven week is 2, let's see, you'll be off for 2, you go on for 2, and then you're off the weekend. So it's kind of like I'm off every other weekend, if that makes sense, unless there's anything mandatory going on or just like coverage shortages or whatever the case may be, like on call, essentially. And that's happened before. It happens a little bit more than you think. So do I get a lot of time to play WoW? Believe it or not, no. On top of being a father, it's really, really kind of like I really have to make the time and just fit it into the schedule. I'm sure all of us do that anyway. I mean, looking at the channel analytics a little bit, but most of us, we just try to fit time in for the hobbies and everything. So most of the time I'm playing very, very late into the night. I'm like, I typically would, like, once the family's all settled down and I get some free time, usually what I'll do is like probably get on around 8, 9 and just go into the real late morning hours, and then start to work on the videos themselves and pretty much just go from there. Just like start editing, batch upload if I can, and pretty much go from there. So it may seem like, and I guess in a sense, looking into it for the Let's Level series, I think it's I think I do a pretty good job of creating the illusion that I am just like playing super often. And really, it's just a matter of I just make as much time as I possibly can. That's really the long and the short of it. Another question that y'all may have is, when you're done with a character, do you immediately start the next one? And yes, I already have a battle plan as to what character I'm going to do next, or which the follow-up character. So like for me, I like to go in rotation, so I'll do damage, tank, healer, and follow that format. Now there's 13 primary classes in retail as it stands, so there's going to be one additional character I'm going to do to kind of subsidize and make it even. That way I can basically make it 3 characters in a row. Like section it it off, like 3 characters, 3 characters, 3 characters, and so on and so forth. So that way the content is always diversified, and I'm like checking a box. I'm saying, okay, I can do a tank healer, or sorry, damage tank healer, but sometimes I may rotate, I may, do the tank first, then I'll do the damage, or save the healing for last, whatever the case may be. It kind of all just depends. But don't worry, I do revisit the characters. I do jump on, Malakal. I do jump on Valera. I probably have spent thus far the most time, like out of all the girls thus far, I think Valera is the most geared. So I think for right now, I think she's pretty much my primary. But I do want to get Malakal up there as well. I do want to get her geared, spend some time with her and everything, because I do want to keep one character close to where retail is patch-wise in terms of content. That way I always have somebody I can just go to if I want to like create a bunch of content on a specific expansion, for instance.
The bones.
So there is that. another good thing, I guess it's all perspective as well, is do I ever get bored? Considering that the Let's Level series is really close to inspiration wise with Let's Plays and kind of taking a influence of Pokemon Let's Plays specifically. You know, gotta catch them all, gotta level them all, I guess. Do I get bored? And the answer to that is sometimes, but not really. You just kind of have to make it fun. And I genuinely look forward to the element of the unknown, because I don't know everything about every single class in the game, every race specific stuff, every expansion. You know, I really don't know a whole lot. I'm really learning as I go, and I think that really gives me the edge in terms of how to make a series not boring. And don't get me wrong, there's probably some episodes in every character's leveling journey that is going to be a little bit less fun than a previous episode or a future episode. Like, it's impossible to make every single episode fun and entertaining, but I sincerely try my best to, be it commentary or talking about story, any stories I have, or just, you know, anything really. Generally speaking, I'll just talk about what comes to mind. I don't really pre-plan any any topics or conversations. I kind of just go with the flow and go from there. I don't really have a preference in terms of Horde or Alliance. I am a Horde player primarily, definitely a dedicated Blood Elf, but with the Let's Leveling series as a whole, I'm really trying to balance out and make it fair for both sides, so one side is not truly overpowering than the other. So really, I do lay out a very good foundation and blueprint. So some classes are going to be on one faction, and other classes are going to be on the other one. And then for like season 2, we'll change up the formula. We'll kind of rotate things around as I go. But Bismillah, amazing job, team Scholomance complete. Always a fun time to be down here. It's a nice little tomb right there. Always a fun time. Scholomance is incredibly fun, y'all. From the revamp to everything else. Ooh, that's a headpiece. I'll probably transmog that. I really don't rock a lot of headpieces. And if I do, I always usually transmog it, unless it's like a really, really good looking one. Do I plan on touching Let's Level series with Classic? Yes, I do. I think after season 1 of the retail series is complete, depending on when I want to start season 2 for retail, because I'll probably have season 2 of the retail series going alongside season 1 of the classic leveling series. So depending on how I want to do it, I may take a small breather from retail, not long, maybe like a month off or something, I don't know, and then start the classic leveling journey. But I'm definitely learning a lot in terms of how to avoid burnout, how to avoid just how to avoid, oh goodness, Shado'pan. Okay. Dark, thank you for your tips on Shado'pan. In terms of later on down the road. And the invincible pandas, I do sincerely thank you for that, for those tips. So I'll keep an eye out for that stuff on this run. But I think what I'll do for like the classic is strictly keep it to one character at a time, not multiple, doing what I do here in multiple. Retail, I can do multiple characters at a time and not feel burnout at all. Classic, definitely going to be a little bit different. I think at this point I pretty much decided it's going to be, if I do anything classic wise, it's going to be specific to the classic expansion or the latest one. So like we're gonna probably do it in Miss Pandaria, and then if Legion becomes a thing, we'll touch Legion. But I don't necessarily want to, I don't really want to touch Classic Anniversary. Here's why. At least not yet. Classic Annie is a grind. It's a grind, y'all. And to do a Let's Level series, not to say I'm not up for the challenge. If it's a challenge, so be it. I'll jump in and accept it and do the best that I can. But Classic Anniversary, one character could take 3 to 4, like my mage in particular, Malakiao, when I was leveling her, it took me at least 4.5 to almost 5 months to get her all the way to 60. Y'all, I don't know if you've ever I'm sure most of everybody here has, but y'all remember those BRD runs? Y'all remember BRD? And before anybody says, oh yeah, but you know, it's either you were either doing the arena runs or you were just doing Princess. You weren't gonna do the whole thing of BRD. But my point still stands. Most dungeons take a lot longer in Classic Annie to do. You gotta remember, they're not streamlined. You're doing the original dungeons. And sometimes you're doing them to the full capacity. You're doing the escort, you're doing everything. And that's definitely, I'm just gonna say now, there's some dungeons that in the classic iteration, in their first iteration, I'm totally not, I'm sorry. There's just some that I just can't do. I'm looking at both of the RFKs. Or sorry, both Razorfin Down and Crawl. Crawl, it's one thing, but Down, oh my goodness. Like, you want to talk about one of my most hated dungeons? The original Uldamon, dude. Oh, dude. Uldamon. I apologize if Uldamon was anybody's favorite dungeon. I think it sucks. It's boring. Outside of the final boss and the mechanics of it, I think it's just, it's not one of my preferred. I'm sorry. It's just not one of my preferred. But I've done many Ulda runs. SKT, or SK, Sunken Temple. Sunken Temple is different. Sunken Temple is a different beast as well in Classic. Now, Stratholme's basically the same both ways. So live and dead side, still very much the same. So I can do Strath any day of the week. What other dungeons definitely took longer? Black Fathom Deeps. Shadowfang Keep was basically the same. No real changes. Not that it ever really needed it. BRD. Anytime you would get a message and it would be the BRD full, you'd be like, oh my gosh. Or like, there's one time I got it was advertised as an arena run, and as a mage, I'm like, okay, we can do arena runs all day. That's no problem. We're going straight to the arena. We're going straight to the arena, clearing and getting out. And then doing it again and doing that again for like 5 times in a row, and then we're locked out for an hour. And then we're just doing it again. But one time I got into a group, and as soon as we got in, it was like, oh no, we're not doing arena, we're doing live. Or sorry, we're doing full. And it's like, full? Like, we're going from beginning to end? Y'all, when I tell you that was a long hour, that was a long grind. The poor freaking warrior that tanked that whole thing had no idea what was coming. I'm honestly shocked we all stayed. Like, the whole team just managed to stay for that whole live run, but oh my, or full run. But that was rough. Oh, that was rough. And we did the attunement too on top of that, so there's just, One thing after the other. So yeah, it's possible that I will touch Classic Anniversary again. Or maybe Classic Plus if that ever becomes a thing. It is possible. It's just that if I'm already doing it for the latest Classic expansion, I don't necessarily want to reiterate and do it again in a much more difficult standard. Because Classic Anniversary, I mean, shoot, one character, you're looking at least 3 months. For me, at least. But yeah, y'all, I hope that gives you y'all some insight as to how I battle plan this, the Let's Level series, how I do things, my thought process, and this is just scratching the surface. I can also go into like the video editing side and what do I do in terms of batch uploading, how do I pre-plan, you know, what character is going to come next, do I make all the characters first, you know, there's a lot, there's totally a lot more that goes into it, but this is just like scratching the surface. I'm just giving y'all some insight as to what I do specifically. But I think it's time for a tea break, y'all. And I've got some nice jasmine here. Jasmine with a little bit of honey. And according to the missus, there's a little fruity taste to this one, so I'm a little curious as to how it's going to be. So, pardon me for 1 second, while I try to multitask here.
I'm out of range.
I could scarcely throw a punch, but after years of training, I can do so much more.
I must get closer.
So this tank is going full throttle, and trying to keep up with her is been kind of a pain. There was one point where it looked like I had both hands in action, you know, like one on the keyboard and one on the mouse for direction. Y'all, I had like the cup of tea in one hand, and I was really trying to manage there for a second. Speaking of this tea, quite interesting. This was quite an interesting blend. I need to ask the wife to confirm that this is what she said it was, because this was just really odd tasting. And holy crow, I've never seen this before. Is this an LO? This almost looks like we're LOSing them. I don't even know if I can burn these things down this quick. I'll be surprised if nobody drops. Trying to do as many spinning crane kicks as I can. Tank is doing really well here. The entire team is doing even better. My gosh, we actually might. We're probably gonna survive this. Holy crow! I think I was the one that came the closest to fainting there, and that's only because I just jumped in. Dang, good job to the tank. I've never seen that been done here before. Great freaking job. Excellent work, team. And we did hit level 60. 10 more levels before we're kicked out of Chromie time, y'all. Came a little bit faster than I thought. Man, Shado'pan is such a dungeon, man. I can imagine how this looks in classic mop right now. I'm sure it looks pretty much almost the same, but how are y'all enjoying? For those of y'all that are already playing classic MOP, how are y'all enjoying it? Is it everything that y'all were hoping it was? Is there some aspects of it that could be different? I never got to play MOP when it first came out, so I'm looking forward to it personally when I get to that point. But I'll say retail, if it's anything like Retail Mop, or yeah, if it's anything like Retail Mop, it's perfectly cool. At least the Chromie time. All right. Time for the invincible little pandas. And again, just gathering them up. Shoutouts to Jenkins over there too. I'm pretty sure that part of that character's name is Jenkins. Yeah, this is so interesting. I've never seen this strategy. Gather all the mobs, bring them to a pole, and then just have everybody burn them down. Such an interesting little placement. I wonder how many runs it took for people to figured out the placement like that. It's really cool. Really, really cool to see. So shoutouts to the tank over here. Shoutouts to player Coconut. Tank is doing phenomenal. Great job. So I guess going back to what I was saying before about like how do you avoid boredom in leveling so many characters and such. I'm sure at some point there's going to be a character or a class that I just don't like vibe with as much as the others, I guess would be the term nowadays. But that's okay. It doesn't necessarily, like, even if I don't necessarily, like, I'm not having the most fun that I guess I could be, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not gonna like complete the character. No, of course I'm gonna complete the character and such. Because I'm sure at some point, yeah, there's absolutely going to be a character in the Let's Level series that I'm just not going to fully enjoy as much. Like, I've heard from many that Demon Hunter tanking is the most technical and the most difficult tanking, like in comparison to Druid, Paladin, Death Knight. Like, it is the most technical tanking, and it is a huge adjustment. It's one thing to play a Demon Hunter as a damage dealer, and it's a whole other ballgame to play it as a tank. So guess which one we're doing at some point. Guess which one? Spoilers. So I'm definitely looking forward to that because it's going to be a challenge, and I need to be challenged. I have to be. Not that I like going, you know, balls to the wall. Excuse me. You know, not like I like going completely overwhelmed, getting completely overwhelmed and such. But I'm looking forward to it. Why not? I think for that one, we're gonna level in Legion's timeline. Let's make it even more difficult. Let's make it even more interesting because I never got to experience Legion either. So there's a whole bunch of Mountain Dew Fell magic that I'm gonna have to get accustomed to real quick. Final boss of the Shado'pan. Let's go ahead and take care of this, and I'm gonna take another sip of tea here. As soon as I get positioned, and let's just get the damage going. Let's get another little tea. Another little wicked tea real quick.
I require a target.
Intrigued. In flight. Target you. Kill ads.
The Shah of hatred has fled my body, and the monastery as well. I must thank you, strangers. The Shado'pan are in your debt. Now, there is much work to be done.
Excellent job to the team. Great job to the tank. That was a good fun series of Timewalking dungeons. Hit level 62. We're only 8 level, dude, y'all. We are only 8 levels away from getting kicked out of Chromie time, and then we're gonna start the, as tradition always is, we go ahead and start the level dungeon grinding for the final 10 levels. I think that's always the most grindy part, believe it or not, of any character thus far that I've done. I've kind of learned this the more I do it. But the final, like the grindiest time is the final stretch, the final 10 levels. That's why I'm kind of scared if this level cap ever gets increased to 90. It's like, oh, please. Like that's gonna be rough. But I guess if that ever happens, you know, we can go back and revisit the characters, you know, and just like go back and like level them again for final 10 levels. Like, why not? May as well, right?
Nice fight.
This is also really cool. I was expecting to have the whole boss completely reset in the brewery. I was not expecting it to basically keep its pace or keep everything to keep its place. So that was really quick. And this appears to be the second boss. Let's see if this one's just as straightforward or if this is a little bit different.
Where am Juga?
Lily going ham right here. Although that's... Ugh, never mind. This dude's getting a little, going a little bit berserk on me. Okay, I see where this is going. So we basically have to keep knocking him silly.
I need to target something first.
Uncle Chan's waiting up ahead.
But touch of death exists, so we're kind of flying through these steps a little quick. Y'all, monks are crazy. How do you guys have a one? I've said this before many times, but y'all have a one shot. In most cases, y'all have a one shot. That's insane. I wonder if touch of death also works in PvP. That might be something to try out. Dude, PvP, touch of death, just like run up on a player and just go bonk.
I must get closer.
Just absolute deletion. And it looks like this part of the brewery is pretty straightforward. Outside of Chen fly kicking, dragon kicking everything one by one. I guess the drawback of a single target ability. So in other words, Chen's gimped right here. This is going pretty quick. Alright, okay, Chen. I'll get out of your way, dude.
spirits to hop into the
Very nice. Oh. Okay, you might, let's see. Looks like a smaller version of the final boss of the actual dungeon, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. I have a feeling this guy is the final boss here that we're gonna have to take care of. And I know I reiterate myself here a little bit, but Monk's utility is incredible, y'all. How could this is like easily the most fun damage dealer I've had thus far.
Let's meet up with the other two. The brewery is ready.
It's gonna be kind of hard to top Monk with just how much you can do. That's it?
Is trouble brewing?
Huh, so my suspicion was correct. All right. Clean the house of the brewery. So now Mr. Chen can essentially help rebuild it. Great job, team. I think we're going to go ahead and take a break and call it an episode here. Thank y'all so much for tuning into episode 7 of Novaxaru's leveling journey. Again, do consider supporting the channel, subscribing, liking, all that good stuff if you've enjoyed the content. And in the next one, we're going to go ahead and journey forth, continuing on our expedition in Pandaria Isle. Take care. I'll catch you then.